What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's 2023, brand new year. Hopefully you all got some fun little knickknacks and whatever for the holiday season. And that kind of brings us to the subject of today's video, which is an updated version of my EDC, which is my everyday carry. It's the stuff that I bring with me everywhere I go. It's the things that I've, refined and kind of found the perfect item for me personally, and things that I use all the time and really love. Hopefully you can get some cool ideas from my list to see maybe, you want to update this or find a new version of that or whatever it may be. I love watching these videos and they're fun to make as well. So without further ado, let's just jump into my 2023 top of the year EDC. Okay, so starting off with the phone, no surprises here if you've followed my channel at all. I am using the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the deep purple, and the case that I've been using is the Aspen case from Andar. I absolutely love this case. It's definitely my favorite case that I've ever used, and it's starting to, develop a really neat patina, and I'm just a big fan in general. Links to everything I talk about, by the way, will be down in the description below. But I can't say enough good things about the phone or the case that I've been rocking. It's definitely been my daily driver. Now, moving on to the watch. The watch of choice that I've been using, obviously, if you've been following this channel, no surprises here, the Apple Watch Ultra. As far as the band that I've had on the watch, I tend to alternate depending on the day or what it is that I'm doing at any particular moment. But essentially, the bands that I've been alternating between are, for one, the stainless steel Link by Apple, the Alpine Loop that I got with my Apple Watch Ultra. I wasn't the biggest fan of that band when it first came, but now it's kind of turned into my exercise band, and I actually do really like it, and I think it looks pretty cool. And then the other one that I use a lot is a handmade watch band that I personally made. For those of you who don't know, I also, do leather craft and like to make a lot of handmade leather goods, and the band that I've been using is a natural shell Cordovan from Horween leather, and it's patinaed incredibly. It looks so good, and I'm just riding that wave as long as I can, and I really love it. It's actually the band I'm wearing right now, and it's darkened up quite a bit. I'll show you, a piece of the leather that it was cut from and how nicely it's starting to patina and get this really great luster to it. I'm definitely a big fan. With all that being said, that kind of segues nicely into the next item that I want to talk about, which is my wallet. Now, I used to be much more stationary of a wallet kind of person, where I'd find a wallet and that's the one I'd be using for, at least a year kind of thing, or at least a long time. But ever since I started making wallets and leather goods, it's absolutely insane how often I switch wallets. It's really no normal person rotates wallets the way that I do, and it's mostly a product of that I can just kind of make whatever I want. If I see a wallet that I like and that I would want to try out, I usually just make it, and I haven't really found one that I haven't been able to make yet. So it's really fun for me. But the ones that I've been alternating, at least the style that I like the most, was inspired by Ashland leather. So if you know about them, it's a style that they call the Fat Herbie. It's a big wallet. It's a pretty big piece of leather, to be honest, and it's meant to sit in your back pocket. But the best part about it is, because of how big it is and the way that the card pockets are placed, it actually spreads out the cards throughout your back pocket, essentially, with more surface area, so that the wallet can sit flatter in your back pocket. So instead of kind of screwing up your back with those super chunky dad's bifold wallets, and if it's going to be in your back pocket, this thin Fat Herbie style wallet really does the trick, in my opinion, and I really like how much I can carry with it and how slim of a profile. There's also a cash pocket on the back, and I've kind of made my own modifications to it as far as the way that the leather's cut, and I've added kind of a snap closure to some of the ones that I have, and I really love it. It looks great. The fact that it's so big too, Phil from Ashland Leather kind of always says this, but it gives you more context of the leather, having a bigger piece of leather that you can see patina and change and kind of see what it looked like. I enjoy that a lot. I like being able to see a big piece of leather and watch it change. As far as the types of leather that I'm a really big fan of, it's Shell Cordovan, which is the best in my opinion. I absolutely love it. It's usually Horween Shell Cordovan, and if I can't get my hands on Horween, sometimes I'll use Shinky or Ricotta or one of those other brands or tanneries, if you will. And then if it's not Shell Cordovan, it's pretty much exclusively, you know, English Tan Dublin as of late. I mean, I'll mess around with some Chrome XL here and there, but English Tan Dublin, if you're looking for like a good price, really nice wallet, I would highly recommend that. If you want the best of the best, try to find something in Horween Shell Cordovan. And because I basically have just copied Ashland's designs, and I'm not selling their designs by any means, I'll link their wallets down below. So if you want to pick up a wallet in this style, definitely buy it from them. They're much better than the ones that I've made. And on top of that, they have all those different leathers that I spoke about. So you can get any of the wallets in English Tan Dublin. You can get any of them in Shell Cordovan. They're the biggest selection of exclusive rare shells that you can find, and I highly recommend you check them out. Moving on from the wallet, AirPods. Always carrying my AirPods with me. I'm using the Airpods Pro 2. And as far as the case that I've been using, there's a couple I'll switch between, but the one I've been using the majority of the time is another handmade AirPod case that I made. And it just is made with natural Shell Cordovan, since there is nobody on the internet selling a Shell Cordovan AirPods case. I went ahead and made one, and I absolutely love it. That's starting to patina really nicely as well. Next up on the list is actually this guy right here, which is the Oura Ring Generation 3. Basically, I just use this for my sleep tracking and kind of, you know, other metrics throughout the day. For most of my fitness related stuff, I use the Apple Watch, but the Oura Ring absolutely dominates as far as sleep tracking goes. You know, I haven't really been following the instructions to better my sleep as of lately, but it's good to at least have the data for kind of context historically, and also to just kind of be a constant reminder to try to get better sleep. Now, as far as a Magsafe battery goes, so this is something that usually when I'm out and about, especially if it's for a long period of time, I'll bring a Magsafe battery with me. My go-to has really been this one from Zeera. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of capacity as a stand built into it. And not only does it charge the phone pretty quickly, but it also actually charges the Apple Watch. And it's the only one that I've seen that will do the phone and the Apple Watch in that profile design. And I'm a big fan. Links are down in the description. Now, due to the nature of my job, I usually have a notebook on me, at least when I'm working at home or if I go somewhere to work, and it's usually just for notes for what I have to do for my job. And so as far as a notebook goes, I really like moleskin. I know there's a lot of other great brands out there, but I use this kind of hard shell moleskin that I put inside a handmade leather case that I made for it. And I just love it. It looks good. It, you know, it does all the, you know, I can replace it when it runs out. I just cracked out a new one for the new year, which was, you know, nice. I like it. It's a good little notebook, and it doesn't take up too much space, and it gets the job done. Now, as far as the pen that I have along with that notebook, it's a titanium pen from Big Idea Design. I believe it's called like the Click something. It's whatever the clicky one is. They have a lot of different other ones. Tactile Click, I can't remember. It's on the screen right here. But anyway, this is a great pen. The reason I bought it is because you can actually basically put any insert that you want inside of it. So there's like a list. I think they like have like 1,000 inserts that it's compatible with or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but there's a ton. It's pretty much any insert that you'd want. And yeah, I was able to get this like Pilot, I think it's like the V7 or the V5, one of those two. That's a really fine tip insert, and put that in. And then now I have this beautiful looking pen with a lot of like, you know, heft, or not heft, it's titanium, it's pretty light, but just it feels really solid, along with my particular favorite insert. So it's neat. It's kind of one of those things that it's pretty expensive. I think it's like 100 something, like $100. It's one of those things people probably wouldn't want to buy for themselves, maybe, unless they're super into this stuff. But if you got it for them as a gift, I'd be pretty hard pressed to find a person who has to write on somewhat of a regular basis who doesn't think that it's a killer pen. Super great stuff over from Big Idea Design. Links are down below. Next up, we're going to talk about my pocket knife. Now, this actually hasn't changed much in the last year. I you know, splurged a little bit, and the knife I got, I believe it's called the Banter. Splurged a little bit for it. It was like the most I had spent on a knife. I don't remember exactly how much, maybe like $130 or something like that. I've never really bought super expensive knife, but it's been killer. It's like the perfect size. It's extremely sharp. I love the shape of it. It doesn't look super threatening. It is a little bit bigger than, you know, a tiny little micro knife, obviously, but it's just an overall great knife. I'm a huge fan. If you want a cheaper version, I believe they have something called the Baby Banter from Civivi, so I'll link both of those down below. And that one's just not as high of quality, but it's the same exact shape and kind of profile, and there's a lot more color options too. Overall, just great knives, highly recommended. I just use it for day-to-day tasks. I'm not doing anything super crazy with it, but it's very useful. And you know, if you are into that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend you check it out. Now, I also like to carry a multi-tool on me, and while it doesn't get as much use as it used to now that I get to work from home, it's still something that's useful to have when you go out and about. And the one that I found that I really like is the SOG Power Pint, I believe is what it's called. I really like it. Really good size, but very functional. I still just can't find the perfect one yet. I've been looking for years for like a perfect multi-tool for my use case personally. The only downside with the SOG Power Pint is that it doesn't have tweezers in it, and those don't get used super often, but I did use them with some of the other multi-tools that I've had in the past, so it's always going to be a trade-off, but the one that I'm currently using is the SOG Power Pint. Now, as far as the flashlight that I'm using, the one that I keep with me all the time is from Olight, and it's made out of titanium, and the battery inside of it is actually rechargeable with USB-C. This thing is super bright for its size. The battery lasts a pretty dang long time. It's rare that I have to like recharge it, is what I'm getting at, but then again, on the flip side, I don't use it super often, but it's just one of those things that when you need it, it's really useful to have. You know, if you're going on a walk now that it gets darker earlier at this time of the year, whatever it may be, I like it a lot. But yeah, check it out, links down below. Now, as far as the bag, I am still currently using the Nutsack Jones all leather 15-inch bag. Absolutely love this thing. Again, working from home, I don't get to take it out as much as I wish I could, or I used to take a bag with me everywhere, but man, this thing is great, and it's starting to patina really nicely. It's not really getting dark, but you're seeing the wear of it and the character of it. It's just such a great bag. I really, if you can, you know, spring for it, I really recommend it. It's a little too pricey to get the all leather version. They have some really great waxed canvas versions, but this design of bag in general, I absolutely love it, and I get super excited even a year later. Anytime I get to take it out, I'm just pumped because it's such a great bag. Now, new addition to the list this year, one that I haven't touched on in any of my previous kind of EDC videos, but this is going to be the jacket that I'm rocking. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm an extremely obsessive person. When I find something that I'm interested in, I dive in on a ridiculously obsessive level to a point where it starts to annoy everyone around me how much I talk about something, how excited I get about it. And I've been like this since I was a very little kid. It's obviously changed the thing that I'm into years over years, but you know, I really love brands that just kind of speak to me and have a really good aesthetic, and just there's a certain feel that you get sometimes from certain brands. And maybe this is just me, maybe I'm a weirdo, but the one that I've currently been just absolutely diving head in on a ridiculous level, learning everything I can about it. Maybe this is a poser of me considering the nature of my life and who this brand is intended for, but I don't really care. It makes me happy, you know, and I love it. And that brand is going to be Filson. So if you haven't heard of Filson, they've been around since like 1897. They used to be kind of primarily selling their gear to loggers, and it's really intense outdoor wear that I think also is really aesthetically pleasing as well. I recently made my first big kind of Filson purchase, and this jacket, let me tell you guys, this is the dopest jacket I've ever worn by a landslide. I could not have higher praise about this jacket, and it is crazy expensive as well, and I still feel like it was every bit worth it in my opinion. So the jacket I picked up is the Filson lined tin cloth cruiser jacket, and so it's essentially a waxed canvas jacket, which is great for the rain that we have here in Seattle, with a lining on the inside so you get a lot of warmth along with that. It's not a removable lining, but it is super warm, and it doesn't feel uncomfortable or anything like that. And just the design of it is killer. I got it in this kind of like black charcoal kind of color. And the more you use it over time, it'll fade and kind of wear and look really, really great. I've seen some insane examples of it and it just looks so, so good. I absolutely love it. And the thing that I didn't really expect, I mean, I guess I kind of expected it, but I didn't expect how much I would really, really love it, is the pocket layout. This thing has the craziest amount of pockets. I've heard other people speak to this and how essentially the depth and amount of pockets that kind of come along with this bag almost makes it like a replacement for a small bag of some sort, because you can fit so much stuff in it, and I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. I mean, I'm able to carry all the kind of EDC gear that we've talked about with plenty of room to go in more convenient locations. This style jacket was designed forever ago and it still holds true to be extremely well thought out. You know, it just works perfectly for me. I love the pockets. I love the kind of the closure mechanism of all of them, how it's like this flap that sits over it, and the buttons are really satisfying and high quality. It even has these kind of like this huge cavernous back pocket where you can store, you know, maybe gloves when you go out and about, or a scarf, or a water bottle if you just need somewhere to throw it. Or I think it was originally designed to put like a map back there or something like that. I don't really know, but this thing's killer. It doesn't come with a hood. You can buy a hood for it, but it's kind of expensive and I haven't done that yet. Maybe I will, but the jacket itself is like $425. Definitely pricey, but this is like a lifetime jacket. It's not gonna break on you. I mean, it's just gonna look better with age. So for me, I've been trying to shift my mentality to the, you know, buy once, cry once kind of mentality, and have something that'll look better over time and just give you well worth the money that you spent on it. And I think this is one of those cases. I've been picking up other things from them a little quicker than I probably should, because pretty much everything from them is expensive, but I'm really excited to now be a part of this really niche community and kind of move with them and see their new seasons and all that stuff. It's just fun. I like it. Now, last piece I want to touch on is the denim that I use all the time. I pretty much exclusively wear raw selvedge denim. Really big fan, much nicer quality. It'll last you longer. It fades and wears to the things that you carry and distresses according to how you actually wear the jeans. That's a whole nother niche community that I've been into and I really enjoy. But the ones that I'm currently wearing are from Naked and Famous, and the particular model, I believe it's in the Weird Guy cut, and it's the deep indigo stretched selvedge denim. Kind of a mouthful, but links are down below. Editing Bobby here. One thing I did not mention that I use all the time is this comb. Come on, focus. So this is from Chicago Combs. I carry this everywhere, and the sleeve for it is actually made from Ashland leather out of reverse. I believe this is cigar shell cordovan, but as you guys can see, the patina on this thing is getting nuts. I really love it, and it's a great comb. Carbon fiber. Highly recommend. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. I very much appreciate it. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think of any of the stuff that I've been carrying. If you know any particular versions or replacements or things that you carry that you want to share, I'd be really interested to hearing from you. But without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.